doesn't feel, I feel like the Tatum thing was a hot button topic in the beginning because he didn't play in that first group stage game. Yeah. And then we all kind of, well, they won, so they figured it out. I mean, who cares?
Drew Holiday didn't play in the game against Puerto Rico, and he's, been in their starting lineup. I don't understand. I think it's just because we're bored, honestly, because it's like, should we be like, or should we be upset that a first-team All-NBA guy is not in the lineup and a former MVP is? Like, we're literally arguing minutia here, and this is a thankless job. You have to have 12 players. I know you say it's not about ego, but can you imagine? You have to take 12 players, superstars in the NBA, and manage them into a selfless whole. That is not an easy job for anybody to do.
It's not their job to grow the game. They just won the NBA title. Shouldn't Tatum automatically be on the starting lineup? I'm being funny, but I'm convinced that anybody who's got a problem with how Steve Kerr is managing this team does not actually like basketball. It's as simple as that. I mean, for what good reason would we have to say that Steve Kerr of all people doesn't know what he's doing? This is not some random guy who just happened to have fallen into the job for no reason at all. He is one of the best coaches and has been for a decade plus in this league, never mind as a player. So I do think there's an element of ridiculousness to this. Transaction Twitter types in the NBA who think that anybody's worried about minutes in an Olympics. This isn't Little League. There are not participation rules in order to get to gold medals.
Speaking of Olympics, there may have been some people that are speaking out now about LeBron's minutes and how many that he's getting. We heard before the Olympics even started, Anthony Edwards like, this is going to be my team. It's going to go through me. He does have the most points. That's fine. Second leading scorer, Kevin Durant, who's coming off the bench, essentially. And then there's the LeBron factor of it all. What do you think, Clinton?
Well, you know where else we've heard that? For the Los Angeles Lakers. And we've heard that for 2 seasons. We were supposed to have this transition to the elder statesman LeBron era where, no. It's 80s team. LeBron just kind of gets in as he needs to, and they continue to get this thing rolling. Turns out LeBron is still the best player on the Lakers from a production standpoint. And, hello, South Sudan, the Dinka Warriors almost pulled that off had LeBron not turned up at the end of that game. I'm only saying that the reason why I think about this is that if I'm a Lakers fan, that plan 2 years ago to get LeBron into some sort of shutdown or third gear mode, they're not even close. And if this guy's got to be playing this hard all summer, a guy who plays all summer pretty much every year because of the playoffs and Olympics, that's not good for the mileage. That's all I'm saying. He is already being taxed and asked to do so much for that Lakers team that looking at what he's doing for Team USA, which is fantastic to watch from an actual basketball standpoint, but man, a lot of tread on those tires these days. I still can't believe he's at this level.
And the head coach of Team USA, not the Los Angeles Lakers, not J.J. Redick, doesn't need to be concerned with the fact that LeBron played 71 games last season, 35.3 minutes. That's 71 games, at the most he's played since he was with the Cavs in 2017. Like, this comes down to winning a gold medal. And, of course, you have to take health into concern. It's why Kawhi Leonard ended up bowing out. It's why Joel Embiid, they've had to be a little bit more careful considering he had a knee injury in April that they still have to monitor during this. But it's not like he's playing insane minutes. He played, just under 27 in the opening game against Serbia. It's come down since then, anywhere from like 21 to 18. He's your best point guard sometimes out there. Watching him facilitate in international basketball, that's what's helping Team USA be able to score 100-plus points in all of these games. Like, it's a non-issue, but we're picking into we're going into like the weeds here because you're thinking LeBron, age, 40 years old, minutes. The guy's trying to win a gold medal. To your point, if he doesn't hit that layup in the exhibition game against South Sudan, we're talking about a world of explosive takes about, oh man, Team USA let themselves down had it not been for LeBron coming through there.
I mean, we're talking about 6 games max, less than 30 minutes in all 6, rest in between.
No travel, too.
And no travel, Well, unless you're Windy. Windy's been going back and forth. He's been having
logging a lot of miles, Windy has.
Yeah, I mean, imagine getting those frequent flyer miles.
I do want to say this, though. I don't think it's entirely out of the question to concern yourself with what the NBA teams think about what their guys are doing. I wouldn't be, if I'm a coach or if I'm a GM in the league, I'm not completely saying, Steve, do whatever you want. You're at least offering some sort of a guidelines. Reminds me very much of the World Baseball Classic situation with MLB clubs. They were like, yeah, okay, but we're managing this in certain ways. I don't think that there's any need to be that involved in it, but there's less players in the league. If some guy gets a freak injury in a USA basketball situation, we've seen it happen before. Paul George, hello, that's not something that you want. So yes, LeBron is doing great, but overall, I think that this is just a matter of, you're exactly right, win the gold medal or don't come
and
home.
move on.
If he was playing 39 of 40 minutes and they had back-to-backs or 3 and 4s, then we could sit here and say,
it's not just minute to minute. It's a tougher game in FIBA. It's a different situation. It's a differently staked. You just never know.
And now they're in an elimination stage too. So that, I don't know if that's going to change things all that much, but we got to go back to giving Steve Kerr credit here. Just think about the leading scorers. Everybody's been off the bench, whether it's Bam, whether it's KD, Anthony Edwards. He's done a tremendous job not only managing LeBron throughout all of this. This is going to be his last run for a gold medal. You let certain players, you're going to let kind of have a little bit more leeway here. He's earned it. He's been on all the other teams that have won gold for USA. But the young players that they have coming up, with Devin Booker throwing him in there, how he's managed his minutes as part of the starting lineup, Bam Adebayo, the other two that I mentioned, in addition to the older players, that's two different skill sets, more or less, just in terms of the wear and tear and where guys are in their careers, that Steve Kerr has had to code switch effectively. How do I manage this versus how do I manage this group? Tremendous job, thankless job. And if you don't win gold, you go down in infamy. You're talking about that Greece team. He doesn't want to be part of that, and he doesn't deserve the criticism for it.
All right, so to tie a bow on all this, Team USA at it again this afternoon here stateside, if you're tuning in, taking on Brazil in a win-or-go-home scenario, although it feels like they've got a pretty good grasp about what's going on.
You better win by 50 or we're coming right back here tomorrow and complain about it.
Crash those offensive boards.
And point differential has mattered, so I feel like that's also on their brain. Let's